I guarantee you more people are going to watch this Stanford game than the next 5 Stanford games combined. So I think you'd be a flat out fool to think Stanford's going to come in here and not play hard and not give max effort, because they will. Another night, another prime time video. On a serious note, I do apologize for this video going up extremely late. I had a very busy day on my hands and a lot of personal stuff going on behind the scenes. But we're all good, and we are here to do one of my favorite videos of the week. We are here to preview and give you my prediction on the Colorado game this weekend, or shall I say, Friday night. Oh man, I'm ready for this one. Hope you guys are excited as well. Colorado's coming off of that big time win against Arizona State. This is a really big game against Stanford if you gotta ask me, because you should win this game, and if you win it, you got a lot of momentum. However, on the contrary, if you lose it, you're heading in the wrong direction. I think this is a huge game, and similar to last week, I think this game is bigger than the USC and Oregon game because you weren't supposed to win those games. However, you're supposed to win this one. These are the games that matter the most because you got to have these. Against USC and Oregon, nobody expected you to win, and that just would have been the cherry on top. What's the word I'm looking for, the phrase I'm looking for? That would have been a bonus. And oh yeah, by the way, I can't believe I almost forgot to mention this. On the previous video we uploaded earlier today, I said if we can get it to 1,200 likes, we'll do the preview tonight, and we crushed it. We got over 1,500 likes. Clap it up, clap it up. We set a hefty like goal, 1,200 likes in one day. That's not an easy task, and we just completely crushed it. And you know what that goes to tell me? You guys want to see the preview, so without further ado, Matt, shut the crap up. Let's get into it. Well, actually, hold on, real quick. I'm going to read off one comment from that video we uploaded earlier today. And if you haven't seen it, we talked about Cormani McClain and his situation, how he got benched against Arizona State. And Marcus commented this, by the way, shout out to Marcus. Thank you for this comment. As someone who started as a freshman at APU, it's hard. You just moved away from everyone and everything you know. Camp is brutal. Classes start up as soon as games do. It's a lot to get accustomed to. Not to mention being a freshman on the travel squad isolates you from all your classmates. I'm sure it's way more stressful for Cormani playing at a way higher level than I did. Give him time to adjust, and I agree. And that's the whole thing I was harping on and emphasizing in that video. We just got to give Cormani McClain some time because he's not ready. It's as simple as that. It's not a bad thing that he got benched, and it's not a bad thing that he's not playing because he is a freshman. And I reminded you guys that like 8 times in that video. It's very rare for a freshman to come into any level of college football, whether it's D1, D2, or D3, and making an immediate impact. You're just not going to see it. Only guys like Travis Hunter and Minka Fitzpatrick can do that. You got to be a special type of player to make an impact as a freshman, and that's not to say that Cormani won't be a special player, but it just goes to show you how hard it actually is. Take it from Marcus here. He played college football, so he understands it. Thank you again to Marcus for that comment, but let's talk about this Colorado and Stanford matchup. Well, first things first, to even give myself some perspective, let's check out the spread on this game. I assume Colorado's going to be favored by about, I'll say 6 or 7 points. Let's pull it up right here. Okay, yeah, wow, that's way more than I thought. Colorado is currently an 11.5 point favorite. What do y'all think about that? That's a lot of points. I don't think Colorado's been favored that much before in a game up until this point. And here's my question. Do you think Colorado's favored by 11.5 points because people think Colorado's that good? Or is it more so of people think Stanford's that bad? I'm going to go with it's a combination of both. That's what I'm going to chop it up to, and make no mistakes about it. Stanford, how do I say this nicely? They suck. Stanford is not, and let me repeat this, they are not a very good college football team this year, and that is somewhat rare. In the past, when you think of Stanford, you think of a pretty good football team, a solid team at that. But this year, I don't know what's going on with them. Not the case. You know how when I talk about Colorado, I say, hey, their offense is one of the greatest in the country, but their defense is one of the worst in the country? Well, for Stanford, it's a little different. For the Stanford team, their offense is one of the worst in the country, and their defense is also one of the worst in the country. There's nothing good about this team. When I say that, it sounds so bad and harsh, but it's the cold hard truth. This Stanford football team, guys, they're just not very good. And I don't want to underestimate them heading into this game, but I'm just telling you what I've seen up until this point. If you don't want to take my word for it, let me show you their last 5 games. On the year, they're 1-4, and they're currently on a 4-game losing streak. The first game of the year, they started out with a W. They beat Hawaii. But ever since that, it's been a steady downhill slope. Got completely destroyed by USC, 56-10. After that, they lost to Sacramento State. Yep, you heard me correctly. Sacramento State, 30-23. That's unacceptable. Then they proceeded to lose to Arizona, who's not that good, 21-20, and then they got destroyed by Oregon, 42-6. Now, I know some of my Colorado fans, you see this, you're like, wait a minute. that 42-6 score looks familiar, and that's because Oregon beat you the same way, 42-6. And if you do want to compare similar opponents here, Colorado, they did play USC better than Stanford. Colorado lost to USC 48-41, only a 7-point game, and Stanford, they lost by 46. So do what you want with that information. Colorado and Stanford both couldn't stop USC. The only difference was Colorado could at least score and keep up with USC, whereas Stanford, they couldn't. And that's been the remedy for this Stanford team all throughout the season. They're not very good at scoring points, and they allow a lot of points. It's not a recipe for success. I want you to take a look at this number. When you're allowing 445 yards per game, and you're only gaining 344, not good. Not good at all. And it's weird, at least for me, previewing this game, because every Colorado game we've done up until this point, we're sitting here thinking, okay, where does Colorado have the advantage? Where do they have the edge? How can they pull the upset, or how can they get this win? But in this case and scenario, we're looking at it from the opposite standpoint. We're looking at it, or my bad, I'm looking at it like this. Okay, does Stanford even have an edge in this game? Where do they have the advantage? Because from everything I've seen, Colorado is better than Stanford at every part of the game. The only thing you could try to argue, and I could hear you out, is if you want to say that Stanford's defense is slightly, and I mean slightly better than Colorado's. But come on now, it's not like Stanford's defense is that good. It's more so of their 1A, 1B. The thing with Stanford is they're so hard to evaluate because they don't even know what their identity is on offense. They've had multiple quarterbacks playing for them this year, and to be honest, neither one has seen too much success. And that's the main reason they're playing multiple quarterbacks, because nobody has separated themselves. To go on top of that, when you think of a Stanford football team, you immediately think, okay, this is a team that wants to run the ball. And they have ran the ball, but they haven't seen too much success there either. So they're not a passing team, but they're also not a dominant rushing team. And I guess that's why they're 1-4, because that equates to lack of success. If you can't run the ball and you can't throw the ball, hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you're not going to win too many ball games. When it's all said and done, though, here's my X factor for this game and what I think it's going to come down to. I don't think the X factor is Stanford. I think the X factor is Colorado's offense. If Colorado's offense is playing to their standard, B+ or higher, there's not a single chance that Stanford has of winning this game. If Shedeur Sanders is just playing his C+ game, Colorado's going to win this ball game. Because as bad as Colorado's defense is, fortunately enough for that defense, Stanford's offense is not that good. Colorado's defense is due to play a good game, and with this being a Friday night game, really a prime time game at that, I expect this Colorado defense to step up a little bit. I'm going to predict Colorado's defense, they play a good game. But going back to my X factor here, the entire Colorado offense, if they put up 35, 40 points, this is going to be an easy win. But, and I have a real big but, if this Colorado offense struggles, I can see Stanford giving them some fits and troubles. This is a Stanford team where you just need to put them away early. If you have a couple turnovers and you leave them in the game, and next thing you know, you look up late in the third quarter and it's 14-10 and Stanford's in it, they're going to get a lot of hope. And when they get hope, they start to believe. And when they believe, they can win this thing. They really can. That's one of the most dangerous things about sports. When you're playing a team like Stanford who's 1-4 and they don't believe they can win a game, and they look up in the fourth quarter and they're only down by 3, 4, 7 points, they start to gain some hope. And then they start to believe they can actually win, and that's bad. You don't want to give the Stanford team any hope whatsoever. They're already going to be fired up enough that they're playing Coach Prime. You got to understand this, guys. Every single team that Colorado plays, that is arguably their biggest game of the year. For Stanford and most of these other teams that play Colorado this year from here on out, this is their Super Bowl. It's not even going to be close. This is going to be the most eyes on the Stanford football program all season long. I guarantee you more people are going to watch this Stanford game than the next 5 Stanford games combined. So I think you'd be a flat-out fool to think Stanford's going to come in here and not play hard and not give max effort, because they will. But remember, at the end of the day, this team is still not that good. I don't think their max effort is as good as Colorado's max effort, if that makes sense. Colorado should win this one with ease. You just need to put them away early. Don't let them hang around. And it does concern me now that I think about it, because Colorado has been getting off to some bad and slow starts. No more slow starts. Jump out on them early and put the game away in the first half. Shedeur Sanders has been straight up balling and playing out of his mind all season long. This Colorado offense has given me zero, and I mean absolutely zero, reasons to not believe in them up until this point. So with that being said, you probably know where I'm leaning with this. I got Colorado winning this game. What are they again, an 11.5 point favorite? I'm going to say, give me Colorado winning this game by, I'll say Colorado 34, Stanford 21. I like that score. I think it's going to be competitive, but not super close. 34-21. Give me the Buffs, man. Give me the Buffs. Remember, I'm going to remind some of y'all, this game isn't on Saturday. It's Friday night, and I love that. We're really getting the 2-for-1 special because we got a whole game to look forward to and get ready for on Friday, and then, of course, we got all the games on Saturday. Love me some Friday night football, especially with Deion Sanders. I'm curious. Let me know your thoughts down below. But,